Good morning, everybody. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and you were on the lifeboat. Hope everybody had a good night's sleep. Balake. It's always good to see Balake Richardson. Always a pleasure. All right, everybody, let's get to work. So you saw the thumbnail. I wanted to talk about. We've talked about many times in the past, kind of the default setting, and about the kind of stuff that makes you different, the kind of stuff that gives you the best possible case scenario, your best chance at success in becoming a sober individual. And the default setting, more often than not, needs to be love. And if you can't muster it, and I get it, if you can't muster a little love, if you've just had the ever loving crap kicked out of you, then maybe tolerance. And and tolerance is a really funny concept coming from a guy like me, because I've been accused in the past of not being the most tolerant person. But I guess what I'm saying is as we start to move forward in this thing, and you start making, if you're going to take this seriously, and you're actually going to try to get sober, and this is like no BS, and this is not a social thing, but you really want to get sober, and there are a lot of things that you're going to start doing. You're going to start following some of the instructions of the people that came before us who have been successful, right? You're going to revamp everything that you do in your life. You're not going to do things the same way anymore. If you do, you'll fail, right? Okay. So that starts to, hey, Mark, good to see you. That starts to come together. Get a lot of people that actually start to come together, and a little bit of a cohesive thing starting to come together. People are showing up in the morning. People are showing up at night. They're making friends, right? And then the inevitable rears its ugly head. And that inevitable is drama. Put a little life, put a little boat in your life. I like it. And the world would be a better place. All right. Hopefully it would, right? Hopefully the world would be a better place. Here's what we're going to do, though. I've heard the term growing pains. Hello, Donna. Good to see you. I've heard the term growing pains sent to me in emails so much in the last week that I actually vomited. It was one of those. It was one of those things that literally like brought it to the back of my throat. And not because I understand the concept, but you know what? There shouldn't be any growing pains. There's no reason for any growing pains whatsoever. Everybody here is trying to get sober. Everybody here is trying to feel better about who they are as a person. And everybody here is trying against all odds to learn to feel comfortable in your own skin without a crutch. For some, that crutch is 4 drinks. And for some, that crutch is just a bump, right? Or a shot. We're trying to figure out a way to get through life without that crutch. And if that crutch becomes gambling, or that crutch becomes shopping, or that crutch becomes, a quarter of a pound of sugar a day, lightly sprinkled on every single thing that we eat. If it becomes an eating disorder, or if it becomes anything else, if there's a crutch that's trying to help you get through your life, may I suggest that maybe you plug into a system that will give you the best chance of feeling good in your own skin. I don't know about you, man, but that's my goal in life. I just want to feel good in my own skin without having to take dope to do it. And I've been working on it now 8 years-ish, right? Though I don't have it down to a science by any stretch. I thought I did. You go through these phases where all of a sudden you're like, man, I got this licked. Jesse Brown, good to see you. Really good to see you, man. You go through these stages where you're like, you know what? I got this licked. I got this whole sobriety thing licked. I'm doing great. Everything's fantastic. I'm happy. Things are going good. And then the inevitable begins to rear its head. Doubt, right? Doubt starts. And then we sweeten the pot. Kelly C, good to see you. Then we sweeten the pot. And we sweeten the pot by doubling the size of the crew on the boat. And I love that. I really do. I'm hoping to quadruple it. The concept that there should be all these growing pains is stupid, in all honesty. I love y'all, but there's no reason for it at all. The concept is we all want to be comfortable in our own skin. The concept is that we all want to move forward and stop doing dope. Pretty simple stuff, right? Except here's what happens. We eliminate the biggest part of our life. booze, cocaine, smack, whatever it is that you're doing. We remove the biggest part of our life, right? Take me as an example. It wasn't just sticking a needle in my arm and doing that, right? That was just one part of the day. I had to go hustle it. I had to go wait in parking lots for it. It was a 12-hour a day, 16-hour a day job. And then you remove that and you start looking, mind games, good to see you. You start looking through all of these different new lenses in life. However, there's a big ass hole missing where that dope used to be, or that bad habit. There's a huge hole missing where that used to be. The question becomes, what are you going to fill that hole with? That's it, right? The rest is semantics and farting around, busy work. The question becomes, what are you going to fill that huge gap in your life with? Because I promise you, if you removed that habit, it has left a gap. One of the worst things is this, that for many of us, what we need to do is we need our emotions to get kicked back up. You understand what I'm saying? Dope did an excellent job at keeping our emotions cranking, right? Now, sedated, nothing bothers you, but you're on edge the entire time. So what do we fill it with? What do we fill it with? Yeah, some people go out and they start exercising. Good stuff, right? Take up yoga, take up whatever. For some, that's not a possibility, right? You can't do that depending on medical conditions. People take up hobbies. People start reading. People start studying things. People become involved, right? They go 350 dead people a day overdosing from drugs. I'm going to do something about it. And they become involved. And all of a sudden, their life takes on a mission. Missions are good. Woof, missions are good, man. They fill holes. They fill the hole that the dope left in a big way. Missions are awesome. They're also hard. They're also hard, right? You really gotta actually put effort out. If you want to make that happen, you actually got to step up to the plate and you've got to do things that are going to make you, number one, probably work harder than you normally would have, and to dedicate yourself to something all in. To say, this is it, man. This is what I'm going to do with my life. I pissed away the first half. The second half, I'm going to do this. That's a commitment. It's a fairly good size commitment. Worth it. I promise you. Worth it. But see, that hole that has been left inside of all of us, if it were just an empty spot, that would suck. But it's not. See, inside that empty spot is the addiction monster looking for the next thing to grab a hold of and grip. You can give that addiction monster something that's excellent, like a mission. Right? Give it a mission. Give it something to grip onto and say, this is it, man. This is what I'm doing going forward. This is going to define who I am. Come on. This is going to define who I am. That's a good thing. If you can pull that off, that is a really good thing. However, it is, again, not one of the easiest of these hole fillers, so to speak. It's not the easiest way to fill that addiction void. Sadly, do you know what the easiest way to fill that addiction void is? Drama. Drama is hands down the easiest way to fill that void in your life, that drugs left, that heartbreak left, that whatever, that hole with that stuff just looking like this, ready to grab. The easiest thing to fill that with is drama. And sadly, boy, that's addicting, isn't it? I mean, it's addicting. And it brings with it 700 habits that all suck. It brings with it a ton of habits that nobody needs in their life. Because, don't go too hot for you, squirrel. She'll be back. We've got this void. We got this huge void. And if you're a drug addict, then you know exactly what I'm talking about, because you get up in the morning and you feel that void, don't you? You're at work, you're doing whatever it is you're doing, but there's that thing, right? There's that thing. And that void, two things can happen with it. You fill it, smooth off the top, and move on. Life becomes smooth. All of a sudden, you start looking at things completely different. You get a different lens. It's a very nice lens, honestly. Some people call it the pink cloud, right? This is the point at which you go, holy hell, this works, right? The captain's not a complete idiot. I got an opportunity that this might actually work. You fill that hole up, right? Really kind of depends on what you fill it with. It really depends on what you fill it with. I think you always have to stay busy doing something that's clean and not looking up with that's clean and not hooking up with someone just because you're bored, and you'll fall right back into their life. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It is a massive void left in your life by whatever, right? Left. For most of us, the drug left, right? For most of us, it's the drug that left. But, sorry, people. Taking back your life as long as you replace a habit with a healthy one, right? All is good. And there's a lot of truth to that. The question is, what are we going to fill that void with? Ask yourself every single freaking day, what am I filling it with? This needs to become the overwhelming question in your life, right? We journal. If we don't, we're failing. For those of us who are journaling, ask yourself that every day for the next couple of months. Right at the top of the journal, every time you start. What am I filling the void with? What am I putting in the void? Do you realize why we are so susceptible to so many things that they tell us not to do, right? Don't, whatever you do, get into a relationship right after you start getting sober, right? Squirrel actually has a fans only account. I'm surprised you didn't know that. Yeah, sure it does. You're going to end up filling that void, whether you make a conscious decision to or not. Right? You are. So here's my thing. If you send, like the average person in America, if you send 40 or 50 correspondence today, you send them in text messages, you send them in emails, you send them in things like that. If 5% of them or 10% of them start with so-and-so said this, then you need to reevaluate what you're doing in your life. Do you know what so-and-so said? Guess what? Reevaluate what you're doing in your life. And there are tons of time where we have to talk about things like that, and it all makes sense. But we will get addicted to drama that fast. I promise you. You will get addicted to drama quicker than anything in the entire world. And you know what the worst part of being addicted to drama is? You got to keep up in the ante, just like every other addiction. You got to keep it going. Hey, Russ. Morning, Wood. Have a cup of Joe on me and rolling. Got the laptop up and running. Good. Excellent, Russ. We're going to fire that up this afternoon and see how it's working. All right. Let's make some time to do that. Excellent, Russ. And thank you for the shot of mud. The two scoop of Keefy made my morning. God bless you, brother. God bless you. What are we going to fill it with, people? What are we going to fill it with? I can give you a whole list of really good ideas. I really can. You know, do you know why so many people fill that void with religion? It is the healthiest thing in the entire world to fill it with. I don't mean God-given stuff. I mean God-given stuff. I don't mean all of the stuff men are going to add and make rules and do all that. I'm talking about you communing with a higher power does wonders to fill that void. Thank you so much, Full of Hope. The iPad fund. I want to tell you something. I'm looking at it over there. If you knew, it's a pretty ugly thumbnail anyway, but it took me about 45 minutes this morning to get that thumbnail put together. That squirrel. Thank you very much, Full of Hope. I really appreciate it. There's a lot of things. And if I sat here, I wouldn't even need to make a list of all the things that that you should fill that with, that you should fill that void with. You know what? That's admirable, Jesse. Look at this. How cool would that be as a concept? Drama is overrated. I've never been a fan. I've never even raised my voice to a partner I've been with. And I kind of believe that. Just I've known Jesse years now. Isn't that funny, Jesse? I've known Jesse years now. And Jesse's a very laid back cat, to be sure. And you know what, people? There's a lot to be said for that, right? Drama is overrated, and it's gonna kill sobriety. I promise you it will. And if it doesn't kill sobriety and somehow you manage to stay sober, you know what it's going to kill instead? Serenity. Stay away from culty things. That's a damn good piece of advice right there. Technical Tommy iPad fund. Yeah, that's probably a better one, Seven. In all honesty, that's probably a better one. A lot of sense to that. Kelly C says, let's stay away from things culty, though. Great piece of advice. Great piece of advice. Let's stay away from things that are culty. And you know what? Great piece of advice. If it's culty, if it's anything, if the people that you're talking to are telling you to separate from the people that you love because they're bad people or they're this people or they're that people, run like hell. Run like hell. Don't let people take over your thought process, right? You really want to learn to do all of this on your own. You want to learn to fill that void on your own, right? For real. Now, you can fill it with a higher power. That's fantastic. You can also fill it with exercise. You can fill it with productivity. You can fill it with things that are positive. That void better get filled. Really, years ago, I taught snowboarding lessons for one season. I had a bad knee, and I couldn't ski the same way, but I could stand sideways, and it was a lot easier. So I taught snowboard lessons for a year. And if you've ever snowboarded, it's an interesting. You got two edges, right? Instead of four on skis, there's only two edges. You stand sideways on this thing. And I used to say to people, the board goes down this way or the board goes down this way, right? You're going to be on a toe edge or a heel edge. And if you do not choose one, then the board will choose one for you. And if it's the back one, then you go land right on your back, right? If it's the toe edge, it'll drop you right on your face. If you do not choose what to fill that void with, guess what? It will fill without your help. You hear me? Make no mistake. If you do not make a conscious choice of what you are going to put into that void, it'll just start grabbing crap and filling itself up. And it will fill itself up with drama. It will fill itself up with hate. It will fill itself up with vicious dogma. It'll fill itself up with things that are going to ruin you. Hey, you back? It will fill you up with things that are going to change you dramatically and not in a good way, right? Not in a good way. The best thing about getting sober, people, the best thing about getting out of any of those kind of bad situations that we have in our life is the void. You understand? The void is the best possible case scenario. This is the golden opportunity. Everybody in the world sits around and tries to come up with ways to make a habit stick, right? Holy hell, they write books about it. What are we going to do on January 1, right? How do we get by? Yeah, this is as close as I get to Vegemite. How do you make that New Year's resolution stick? How do you fill that void, right? How do you, people, you got a ready-made opportunity sitting there. Because I promise you, whatever the hell you drop into that void, you're going to become very attached to very quickly. Which is why if you do not choose what you drop in there, you're in deep trouble. Andrew, the heat seeker Boyle. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. A little New Zealand love. iPad fund. Full of hope. Good game of rugby for the Irish this morning. Beating South Africa. You hear that, Full of hope? We've got apparently the Irish took out South Africa this morning in rugby. Love rugby, by the way. Love rugby, right? I was very, very big in college. A lot of cats that I'm very, very good friends with growing up were rugby. I was going to say rugby players, but rugby players aren't rugby players, are they? They're lunatics. Let's put it this way. I know all those songs. I could not sing any of them on here without everybody never coming back, but I do know all the rugby songs. You know what? Anik, you're cool, and you know what? This is a great topic. So now you're screwed because I'm going to have to bring it up. But Anik Alexander says this may offend some. My apologies in advance. But if I had $1 for every time I've heard somebody say I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual, then I would be a very wealthy woman. I would go further and say you could probably get wealthy on 50 cents, much less $1. And you know what? I understand exactly why people say it. I do. I understand exactly why people say it. They say it because God's fantastic. But once people start adding to it, it gets really sketchy, right? I mean, we've seen some pretty ugly, and I'm not going to discuss religion here. I promise. That's not what we're doing today. But we can watch that on another channel later. We'll be doing it at 3:00. But there's a lot of reasons that people would love to say, you know what? I dig God. I just don't love what all of the people say and fight about. And I get that. I really do. And you would be a wealthy person at $1 a shot to make no question. I think 50 cents would make you wealthy. Come on, where are we at? Laptop fund and a treat fund. Ooh, you got me to say the T word out loud. We're lucky she's not automatically screaming. The T word fund for Squirrel. And I promise you, I will absolutely put it to that. You know that this cat has about a $30 a month PREAT habit as it is. She really does. And she's also gotten a bit of a catnip habit. Heather Joy, when I was still living in near Northern California, Heather Joy came by and brought a little care package for Zipper. And in there was like 6 or 7 different small mice that are filled with it. And she has just gone nuts on every one of them. Hey, Brandy, good to see you. Glad that you're here. I really am. The question now, people, all day, right? And it's the question every day, by the way. It is the question every day. People say, I struggle journaling. I really, really can't seem to get the journaling started. I get it. I really struggled with journaling for a long time, too. Right at the top of the page, what am I filling this void with? What am I filling this void with? Am I filling it with love, or am I filling it with things that are not love? Because I promise you something. You know, we say, I don't want to discuss religion here, and I won't. But I can tell you this. If it's moving you closer to love, stick with it. Keep doing exactly what you're doing. If it's moving you closer to love, if it's moving you closer to kindness, if it's moving you closer to being a better human being, maybe actually trying to leave the earth a little bit better than you found it. If that's the direction that this is going in, fill that void, man. Fill it. Get a damn shovel and fill it. However, if it's taking you in the opposite direction, if you feel like what you're doing might be bringing in just as much hate as it is love, maybe you shouldn't be doing it, right? I got news for you. Fill in that void with good stuff. When you first get clean, or you first get sober, or you first get motivated, or you first get whatever, is a hell of a lot easier than trying to dig out the wrong stuff that you put in that void. And everybody here, I think, has a handle on that. Dana B. Thank you, Dana. She says, that's what I say as well. Some people need it, and I respect it. Good for you. You know what? Respect goes a long freaking way, people. Respect goes a long way. You don't have to agree with people to respect them, right? You really don't have to agree with people to respect them. You can disagree and respect people at the same time. But we are rapidly closing in on the month of October. And as you know, if you know the boat, the month of October is a big deal around here for a lot of reasons. One, of course, is candy corn. It's really the only month that you can absolutely score candy corn no matter where you go, anywhere in the city. They are selling candy corn, usually by the kilo. So That's a big month right there, right? I kind of dig that. Also, some very important birthdays from people on the boat. She does, and she loves lasers. I wear her out occasionally with them, but she does like them. Whoever has not hit that like button will be scrubbing the deck, says Charlie Mullins, and he's right. You hit that like button, you will be swabbing that deck till midnight, and you will not be invited to the after party. Sorry, it's going to be a good one. So, filling the void. Kilo porn, absolutely. The other thing that that is going to happen in the month of October is kind of like a three punch. I've got a couple of guest things that I'm going to be doing on some shows that are good sized shows. In one of these, I said to the producer, what am I going to be talking about? Because I am the expert. And he said, you're going to be talking about you. So they're going to do my story, and it's going to be a 2 or a 3 hour kind of a thing. This will bring in more subscribers. That's how it works, right? And that's going to start happening in the month of October. Do you know what the month of October is going to be for me? Huh? Other than candy corn and the fact that I'll be, of course, as always, reorganizing all of my Franklin Mint Conway Twitty plates, commemorative plates, but that's not, neither here nor there. In the month of October, I'm doing no drama October. You hear me? No drama. It's not going to be any drama in the month of October. I'm not doing it. Not doing it. You know why? Because it's accidentally, I do not like black licorice. Do not like black licorice. Disgusting. Give me candy corn by the pound. No black licorice. Make no mistake, people. I'm not doing drama in the month of October. I'm giving everybody a heads up, right? We've got days. We have days to warn you, right? But there will be no drama. So if by some chance you ring me up and it is October the 1st and you say, Tommy, do you know what so-and-so said? I'm going to go, hey, do you know what today is? It's the start of no drama October. So if this even has the slightest whiff, even that slightest whiff of drama, I'm not doing it. And I'll tell you why. Because it's really unhealthy. You hear me? It's really unhealthy. And I don't know whether or not you know this, but I've been doing a lot of testing lately. I have been spending a lot. Marshmallow Peeps rock, especially if you put them in the microwave. I'm sorry. If you've never put a marshmallow peep in the microwave, you have not lived. Just saying. If you have not put a peep in the, see that? She says, yuck, candy corn and marshmallow peeps. Sorry to offend anyone, but they are nasty. You are not offending me. Seriously, you see that? We can all get along. The fact that Anne is completely insane doesn't mean that I'm kidding. A lot of people don't like peeps. But if you've not put them in the microwave, then you really, because they got to be warm when you eat them. And it's cool because they puff up and get very big and it's fun to watch. Anyway, sorry, couldn't pass up. Could not pass that up. Clearwater Chad, good to see you. October. The month of October is going to be No Drama October. Hope everybody's on board. May I suggest, just to make sure that we can do this, because I got a lot of faith in you. Make no mistake, I got faith in every one of you. Brandy, good to see you. You say yes. Oh, what a cool thing to say, Brandy. What a very nice thing to say. So, may I make a suggestion? What do we got here? We got the 27th. Say 27th. 24th. I'm sorry. Today's the 24th. You know why I said 27th? Because I've got a big important meeting on the 27th. Wow, look at this. Ditching drama has the same effect as ditching substances. You wake up every day with more time and energy to make positive changes in the world. Holy hell, what a great comment. How it gets read again. Ditching drama has the same effect as ditching substances. You wake up every day with more time and energy to make positive changes in the world. So I can get back to the exact same thing that we talk about when I say to people, I understand about the concept of people who say, hey, you know what? I don't like religion, but I like God. I understand the concept. I really do. I get it. Doesn't matter. In a lot of ways, it's semantics. What do you care what people call it? If you like God, you like God, On the drama thing, in a perfect world, no drama October lasts forever, right? No drama of October should last forever. But let's see how we do in October. And it'd make me real happy if you just start today. Okay. Let's just start today. I've been getting a lot of tests done. And I haven't got results back on most of them. It's going to be Monday. I got to go and see these people. It was like getting a car worked on people. I mean, they went from the headlights all the way. I don't think that there's a system that they didn't mess with it at one point yesterday. Borderline, good to see you. So I can tell you without any of the help of any of the doctors at all, right, that drama's unhealthy. Drama's really unhealthy. And if you're trying to figure out what's going on health-wise, you're always looking for things, right? And I got meters that you're hooked up to that are doing this and doing that and telling you what's going on with you, right? And you're plugged in. And I'll tell you right now, it's not healthy. It's not healthy. It's not healthy for the boat. It's not healthy for me. It is sure as shoot not healthy for sobriety, right? At all. So what do you say? What do you say that maybe we just do can't we all just get along? Right? Can't we all just get along? In the same vein, if what you are doing is moving you closer to love, stick with it, right? We can all agree on that. Makes perfect sense, yeah? If what you're doing is moving you away from love, knock it off. Pretty cut and dry, right? You don't need a genius for this one, right? You don't even need to take notes. Nancy, how dare you show up 30 minutes late? I'm kidding, Nancy. You're good. We record these things. You can go back and watch it. So no big deal. Now, that makes sense. I think that makes sense to all of us, right? Okay, so here's the other one. The other one is, if it is moving you closer to drama, knock it off. Knock it off. If it's moving you away from drama, roll with it. You say, Tommy, well, you don't know what's bringing you drama until it's bringing you drama. Oh, I beg to differ. I beg to differ. If you're on a phone call and you're saying, guess what? So-and-so said, you're doing the drama thing. If you say, that person makes me so anything, and you're saying that to somebody else, guess what? You're doing the drama thing, right? You're doing the drama thing. I think we can all agree on one thing. Nobody here wants to be addicted to drugs, right? Can I get an aye? Should have no problem getting at least one aye, Captain. Nobody here wants to be addicted to drugs or alcohol, or you don't seem to find alcohol a drug for whatever reason. None of us want to be addicted. None of us want to be miserable. All of us want to be loved. All of us want to be respected, right? If I said anything that doesn't make any sense, that one was for Bubba's grandma. She likes a good every once in a while in the morning. Phyllis, I love you. You understand what I'm talking about, people? I have high hopes that we're going to knock off all of it, that we're going to start concentrating on the really important stuff, which would be, number one, not getting high. Boom. Rule number one, right? We don't want to get high. Rule number two, let's not do things that might drive you to want to get high. Or worse, making someone else want to get high. I remember, this is a good story. I'm going to tell this story. Anik Alexander. Kathy, my birthday was extremely lonely. No one remembered. But but for different reasons than yours, just endured it. And the next day it was so much better. You know what? I'm going to tell you a quick story. So when I was in prison, I didn't tell anybody when my birthday was, ever, because I didn't like being reminded of where I was. And to me, that was a constant reminder. There were guys who got really into birthdays in prison, and they make themselves some wine, and do whatever they're going to do, and they bake big spreads, and they do all of that. And you know what? I just wanted mine to go by as fast as possible. I didn't want that. I didn't want anything to do with that. And the life-changing stab, the stab that put me in solitary at Victorville when I got stabbed in the stomach. I got the Dear Tommy letter from my wife on my birthday, and it was really one of those things where I thought to myself, you know what? Nobody knows it's my birthday. I didn't get a happy birthday. I did, however, get a divorce. But the next day was great. The next day was the start of everything. I was looking up from that point on. Right? By the way, Kathy, you owe me an email. Good work, too. If you've not gone over and seen some of the new stuff that Kathy's got up there, I love watching Kathy. Kathy is a very, very talented musician, just gifted. Kathy, you owe me an email. Let's see, what do we got? What do you like, Indian corn besides candy corn? Candy corn. That's what I like. Candy corn. It is a candy corn. Thank you. And one of my favorites, if not, now, you know what? It's not my favorite candy. It isn't. But what makes candy corn special is the same thing that makes, what do you call it? The Cadbury eggs, right? Because they come around once a year. If you could buy Cadbury eggs every single day, they wouldn't be special in any way anymore, right? Oh no, Valerie has been hanging out with Seventh Son. She says, I have a joke. What did one plate say to the other? Dinner's on me. See that? Seventh Son, you're rubbing off on people. There goes the neighborhood. Now we've got them all doing it. I believe the vast majority of people listening to the sound of my voice do not like birthdays. They don't like them because it's an addictive thing. It really is. Addicts don't like birthdays because they're reminders of failure, right? It is absolutely a reminder of how many birthdays we spent wasted. The people who we used to love who no longer are there in our lives because of the things that we've done. Birthdays are a crap reminder of how our life has been when we're on drugs. Everybody can agree with that, right? I don't celebrate my birthdays for some reason. Next year, I want to. Booyah. Hear that? Booyah. From this point forward, I want all of us to start coming here and saying, you know what? Today's my birthday. Let's celebrate it. Because I'll tell you something, people. We're going to continue to do what we did in the past. The same kind of things are going to happen, right? Well, I don't celebrate birthdays. Well, now you do, right? Didn't work very well in the past. How did anything work in the past? Were we all happy, right? There's 83 of you here right now. If everything went groovy, there wouldn't be 83 of us here right now. So if it was not, if in the past you decided that birthdays weren't worth celebrating, how did it work out? You ended up addicted to drugs, right? You ended up unhappy. You ended up with habits that you weren't cool with. Let's change everything, all right? Let's have a couple of damn birthday celebrations. Let's pump our fist in the air and wish everybody a happy birthday. And just because of my absolute affinity to all things Lewis Carroll, today happens to be my unbirthday. Very merry unbirthday to me. I'd be willing to bet it is a great number of unbirthdays to a lot of people here. And you know what? Statistically speaking, there are going to be a crap load of birthdays on the boat today. There's 10,000 people, right, on the lifeboat. So a lot of people here are going to be having birthdays today. Happy birthday to you, right, from Captain. Happy birthday. Hope it's a fantastic one for you. God bless. from this point forward, right? Celebrate birthdays. From this point forward, let's stop filling the void with negativity, and then let's start filling it with positive. I don't do birthdays, they suck. Well, not anymore. We're not doing the suck thing anymore, right? No. From this point forward, let's just say, hey, you know what? This is my birthday. This is going to be a celebration of who I am going forward. Going forward. Don't put on a big smile for anyone, Valerie. Valerie, if you're feeling pressured from somebody to do something, don't. Look, we're going to stop being pressured by people, right? That is an activity that addicts allow to happen to us big time after we get sober. You see, and I've done a lot of shows on this. We allow people to sort of, we feel guilty because of the things that we've done in the past. And for that reason, a lot of times we will allow people to pressure us in certain ways. Valerie, you're celebrating your birthday this year the way you want to. Don't feel pressured to do anything. Don't feel pressure to do anything. It's your day. I'll tell you what, I have gotten to the point where I like them because to me now, each birthday is actually a birthday, right? Like I'm closing in on 9, right? The next one will be my 9th birthday without heroin. I'd say that's a pretty big deal for me. To me, that's worth celebrating, right? I don't mind anniversaries. There are still days that are going to haunt me. There are days that are going to haunt every addict, right? I've managed to destroy a couple of marriages. You know, when those anniversaries come around, I struggle. We all do, right? Kathy, I don't want to embarrass you, but boy, do I want to put that comment up. Kath, I love you. But I'm hoping the narc doesn't use my birthday to manipulate his way out of this door, the very locked door. He's a master lockpick. The narc is a master lockpick. Kath, you know he's going to be trying to pick that door, right? You know he's going to be trying to. Don't you let him do it. Anybody get that music reference? Somebody? Nobody's going to get that. I'm going to try to get behind you. Don't you let him do it. Kath, do not let him do it. You know what's coming, right? You know what's coming. So you're prepared, yeah? Did I just hear? Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Cheryl Niles. Happy birthday. What did I tell you? Guaranteed, right? Twas brilling in the slithy toves, did gyre and gimble in the wave. All mimsy were the borogoves and the momrads outgrabe. Look at that. Little Lewis Carroll fan. He took his vorpal sword in hand. The long-tongued manxome moe he sought, so rested he by the tum-tum tree, and waited a while in thought. And as Inu fish thought he stood, the Jabberwock, with eyes of flame, came whiffling through the tulgey wood, and burbled as he came, 1, 2, and 2, and through and through. His vorpal sword went snicker snack. He left it dead, and with his head, he went galumphing back. Or something like that. Captain. There we go. Captain, what do you do if your family don't have time for your problems and you've become a hermit? And the only thing that makes you feel anything is the pain medication. Brandy, well, first of all, what do you do if your family don't have time for your problems and you become a hermit? The hermit thing, Brandy, is the reason that we all end up really trapped in addiction, right? The reason that we all really end up trapped in addiction is because, right, we become a hermit, and if the opposite of addiction is connection, then what you're doing is dangerous stuff. And if the only thing that is making you feel anything is the pain medication, then what you probably need is the assistance of a professional to get you off of that, right? We live in a really cool time right now in terms of being able to have pain medication leave our lives without the torture that it has always been. And this is kind of my wheelhouse, right? This is what we do. We work with everybody from every kind of addiction known to man, literally. But that addiction happens to be the specialty of what I do. So send me an email. That email needs to go to sober, right, at myyahoo.com, SOBER at myyahoo.com, not Yahoo, and put in the heading, right? Put something in there that I know exactly, right? This is brandy, pain meds, something like that. And we can talk, because there are things that can be done right now that can really, there's a lot of very cool things that they're doing with medicine to work on that exact problem, exactly what you're describing, literally. And I could do 2 shows on it. I really could. What I don't want to do is turn this show into it. And if we can go back and forth one-on-one, we can get this done quickly, I promise. Hold on one second. You are our Mad Hatter, and we are all mad here. Hold on. Where's my Mad Hatter hat? I'll put it on tonight. I had my Mad Hatter hat out today, actually, because the other thing that is cool about October is I can dress as the Mad Hatter and nobody looks at me like I'm crazy. Normally, I put on my Mad Hatter routine and everybody looks at me like I'm a nut job. But in the month of October, you can pretty much walk around as the Mad Hatter and no one is going to give you a lick of anything. Oh, and we are all quite mad here. In the best sense of the word, though. In the best sense of the word, though. Lene, good to see you. A friend of mine has adopted a daughter, and every year they call it her special day for adoption day and celebrated as her birthday. I love that, Anne. I love that. I'm a very big proponent of adoption. I think it's the greatest thing in the world. I have an adopted son and I have an adopted sister. Big fan of adoption. I think it's I'm a huge fan. Sorry. Just making sure I'm not missing anything here. Sorry. Becky says, I completely shut down and shut up and shut the world out. Hope you're feeling better. I did join a Facebook group. Good. I do have an account. I have been in shutdown mode for basically years. Only way I know how to cope. Well, you've taken a huge step, right? You're moving in the right direction. You are here and you are sharing. And if you've got to share this way for a period of time until you start feeling like you get your sea legs, so to speak, right? We're not asking you to jump from agoraphobia to let's go to a party with 1,100 people in it. But what we would like you to do is to begin to open up and begin to start to connect with people. All problems, right? All problems that we face are going to be cured through connection of one kind or another. And you know what, people, don't rush it, right? You don't have to get here, start saying hello. You're going to see the same people here day after day, and opening up, talking about your problems. To say I completely shut down and shut up and shut the world out. To say that in front of a group of people, whether you realize it or not, is going to have a benefit. It's going to move you forward. I promise you it is. And folks, all of these things will actually work, but don't pick one from column A and one from column B. Please, right? Please. And if you do, you're going to send me an email, right? You're going to say, Tommy, I've done everything that you said, and it's still not working out, and I'm not feeling like, and I'll go, all right, let's go back through your last couple of weeks of journals, and let's see if there is a theme that is recurring again and again and again, right? And the person will say, I don't journal. Well, kind of a big deal, right? It's kind of the one of the basis of what we do here is that our feelings go from the dome to paper, right? Interesting things happen when you begin to write your feelings down, right? Interesting things happen when you begin to write your feelings down. Uh, Info dump it, right? When you get up in the morning, write down everything that's in your head. Don't go walking around with a head full of that, right? Sorry. Cindy Lou, good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. Start journaling, people. Start journaling. Start writing down morning, night, morning, night, morning, night, morning, night. Start putting down what you want, where you want to be in 3 months, 6 months, a year. Start taking advantage of the things that we say that we actually do here, right? I get people all the time who say, I've got, 3 of the people in my 5, and I say, fantastic. How's that going? Good. How's the journaling? Well, I haven't started journaling yet. Well, then why the hell are you doing anything else? Right? Work on you. If you work on you, filling that void will become a lot easier. Right? Start writing down on a piece of paper anything that comes out of your dome. And you know what it's going to say? It's going to say, fill the void with this. Straight up. You're going to continue to write about the same thing. It's going to be something. It's going to be something. It's going to keep showing up, and you're going to read it again and again. And it's literally going to be screaming at you. This is what you're supposed to do. What do you think my journaling looked like 8 years ago? Huh? It was the predecessor to this. Everything I wrote screamed, you're going to spend the rest of your life talking about this. Everything I wrote was, you know what? I went to a meeting today, and to be really honest with you, the guy bored me so badly, I thought to myself, there's no chance anyone's going to get sober listening to this guy, right? These things would appear over and over again. And I just started to scream, yeah, this is it. That, I'm going to end up filling my void with this. Thank you, Jesse. I really appreciate that, man. And Jesse, I don't think you have any idea how cool it is to look out on the deck and see you, bud. You know what, Rip? I know exactly what you're saying. Rip says the dream I was just having, I would not want to write down. Those are the ones that I tend to write down, Rip. And the reason I do is out of sure Wormton cowardice, because I have learned over time that if I don't write them down, they come back. Right? They come back to visit. If I don't write them down, those puppies come back. But that's me. I mean, personally, if I'm not writing down everything that's going on in my dreams, then they make a revisit. They come back to say, "Hey, Tommy, how you been?" Allow me to scare the hell out of you again. Right? And but that is absolutely a personal thing. I hate bad dreams. If you've been on the boat long enough, you remember I was on a tear for a while. I had about a 2-month period of time that I was really going through it. Herman Hill, good to see you. And Kath made it through another workout. Kath, love that you work out while the lifeboat's going on. I think that's awesome. I really do. Lady, I've never journaled before, but I guess I need to start. You do need to start. And you know what? Don't make this not fun, and don't make it scary. Just get a piece of paper, right? Sit down and begin to write. And if nothing comes to mind, this is what I always tell people. If nothing comes to mind, make a list of all of the teachers you can remember going back to elementary school or kindergarten or whatever, and anything you remember about them. Like that one woman, Miss Horgarth, who had a whatever, right? That yellow stain in the middle of her white hair from all of the cigarettes that she smoked. What happens is you start writing this down, you're going to start peeling away things from your past, and you're going to all of these things start to. You need journaling assignments. If you're struggling and you need journaling assignments, you know what? Honestly, you can write your own. You really can. Just go back through the past, right? Write the worst date you've ever been on. Write the best date you've ever been on, right? Write the funniest, write the unfunniest, right? It's just a matter of unloading. You understand? Because what happens is once you begin to write, this part will get rid of whatever's there anyway. I promise you it will. You just have to start the process of writing. And for a lot of people, that is the most difficult part, is just to get the process rolling. So if just to get the ball rolling, all you got to do is say, tell us about that one time at band camp, or that, that one teacher, whatever it is. I don't, go out. I go out occasionally, get gas, go to LA. Uh, Heard you're getting a podcast partner moving in soon. Chasing the Lifeboat. Boy, there's some rumors about that, isn't there? There has been rumors that I may be doing a podcast with some dude named Johnny Scoville. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But I do have an announcement to tell you that on the 27th, I will be there will be a show coming up on the 27th. I will announce the name of it as we get closer, but it is going to be a kind of like a true crime kind of a thing. And I am going to be what the show is about. They're going to be doing a thing on Captain Tommy. So that's coming up on the 27th. And I will make sure that everybody is aware of that. So if you want to tune in, you can. All right. And I'm closing this one a little early, people. Once again, I got up this morning and thought, I'm going to try to get through the first 15 or 20 minutes. But every time you guys are able to keep me going, even if I'm not feeling great. Maria, I love that. That's how I journal, to be honest with you. And I try to journal in as much detail as I can. Especially if it's just my mind, but if it's things from the day, whatever the case may be, then that's the way it is. Chase the Heat did a video last night. You've been outed. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there might be a podcast, since my brother has said that has already admitted it. You know what, Angela, I appreciate you. And that goes for every one of you. And I mean that. I'd be sitting in this chair talking to three people with a cat next to me. It's a whole lot nicer to be sitting in this chair talking to to more of you. It gives you the feeling that we're getting something done, and that's a beautiful thing. I want to thank you all for now they update you and they tell you what happens by the week, right? And the number of you that shared the Lifeboat out, and the number of you that that took the time to leave comments and thumbs up. The reason we're growing the way we're growing, it's almost 100 people a day, and the reason we're growing at that rate is because of all of you. It's nothing that that we're doing sitting here in front of the microphone. I promise you. So thank you all for all that you do, and I appreciate you. I'm Captain Tommy. This. He's a good kitty. That's a cat in a basket. Talk to you later, everybody. Hey, go to church if you're a church goer. See you all 3:00 over on the other platform. You know who I'm talking to.